Success does not come by accident. It is not reserved for the chosen few, nor is it the product of luck. Success is summoned, called forth, by those who think with precision, who speak with conviction, and who act with purpose. The words you speak to yourself shape the world you live in. And when spoken with belief, intention, and discipline, affirmations become commands to the subconscious mind, directing it toward the achievement of your definite, major purpose. Your thoughts are seeds. Your affirmations are water and sunlight. And your faith, fueled persistence, is the hand that tills the soil until the harvest of success bursts through the surface. Today, I will give you the blueprint, 5 eternal principles that transform affirmations from empty phrases into magnetic forces that attract success. But understand this, if you are not deliberately directing your mind, then the world is doing it for you. And what the world offers is mediocrity. What you can claim if you choose is greatness. Before a man can climb the mountain of success, he must first see it, name it, claim it as his own. Too many drift like leaves in the wind, at the mercy of conditions they refuse to command, because they have never decided what they truly want. They hope, they wish, they dream vaguely, and the world gives them what they deserve: vague results, scattered outcomes, fragments of their potential left unrealized. But I tell you now, success demands definiteness of purpose. No one ever stumbled into greatness. No one ever whispered their way to victory. Every man or woman who has changed the course of their life, every soul who has pulled themselves up from despair and poverty and mediocrity, has done so with a clear picture etched in their mind, a definite aim that lit a fire in the belly and left no room for retreat. It begins with this: what do you want? Not tomorrow, not next year. Now, what is it you truly desire? What is the one thing that, if you achieved it, would make your spirit rise and your life take on new meaning? You must name it. You must define it. You must write it in bold, unwavering letters across the tablet of your heart. Because a man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder, drifting, tossed by the winds of circumstance, never arriving at any port, always reacting, never directing. Definiteness of purpose is not just the beginning of success, it is the foundation. It is the blueprint by which the house is built. Without it, no plan will hold. No affirmation will stick. No motivation will last. Your purpose is your compass. It tells your mind what to focus on, your emotions what to believe in, and your feet where to step. And you must speak it aloud. You must affirm it with conviction. I am building my fortune through the work I love. I am attracting the people, the resources, and the opportunities I need to fulfill my vision. Not idle words, not shallow phrases, but declarations backed by vision, backed by decision, backed by fire. Let me tell you something eternal and true. When you speak with definiteness of purpose, your subconscious listens. And your subconscious is your silent partner in success. It does not argue. It does not resist. It follows your lead. But only when you speak with clarity. Only when your words are wrapped in certainty. I've seen men walk through fire because their purpose gave them no alternative. I've watched women rise from hardship and rejection because they decided, once and for all, that failure was no longer an option. And I have felt in my own life the shift that occurs when a single purpose takes hold and burns away every excuse, every fear, every lingering doubt. Obstacles, yes, they will come. That is certain. But when your purpose is definite, They do not destroy you. They shape you. They harden your resolve. They forge your faith. They teach you the value of what you are building. And that makes victory all the sweeter. This world responds not to the tentative, but to the determined. Not to the hesitant, but to the certain. And certainty comes from clarity. It comes from knowing where you are going. It comes from planting your feet, raising your eyes, and saying with everything in you, this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is where I'm going. Do not settle for vague goals. Do not speak with weak words. Decide, define, declare, and when you do, let your affirmations become weapons, sharp, deliberate, and unstoppable, cutting through confusion and fear until only the truth remains. You were born for something great. Now take this moment and own it. Decide what your purpose is. Speak it aloud. Write it down. Carry it with you. Let it guide your choices. Let it rule your mind. Let it burn in your heart until nothing can stop you. Because the minute your purpose becomes definite, your success becomes inevitable. Repetition is the master key that unlocks the vault of your subconscious mind. It is the chisel that carves new beliefs, the hammer that breaks down old doubts, and the steady drumbeat that calls forth the rhythm of your success. If you desire change, real change, lasting change, then you must embrace the discipline of repetition, for nothing great is built without it. The human mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Each word you speak, each belief you affirm, is a planting. But hear me now. A seed planted once and forgotten will never grow. It must be watered daily. It must be nurtured constantly. It must be spoken into again and again and again until it takes root so deeply that nothing can rip it out. The world has conditioned you to forget, to doubt, to hesitate. Every day, you are bombarded by noise, distractions, and voices that whisper limitations. That's why your affirmations, your declarations of power, must not be occasional. They must be ritual. They must be carved into your morning and sealed into your night, because repetition does more than remind your conscious mind. It reprograms your inner world. You do not build a new identity with a single sentence. You build it by saying the same truth until it becomes the only truth. I am disciplined. I am courageous. I am worthy of success. These are not words to be flirted with. These are not feel-good slogans. These are commands spoken daily until your mind obeys, until your actions align, until the world begins to respond. Do not say your affirmations casually. Say them with fire. Say them with your chest full and your voice strong. Say them with the full belief that you are shaping something eternal. The greatest men and women in history did not rise by accident. They rose by belief, and belief was not born in a moment. It was forged through repetition, through daily commitment, through unwavering persistence. I have seen men enslaved by self-doubt break their mental chains by the force of repeated truth. I have watched individuals who were once paralyzed by fear begin to move mountains because they repeated words of power until fear had no place left to hide. One man I knew was crushed by failure, bankrupt in both pocket and spirit. But he stood in front of his mirror every morning and declared, I am rising, I am rebuilding, I am a man of value. He said it when he didn't believe it. He said it when he had nothing left but his voice, and slowly repetition became belief. Belief became action. Action became success. That is the power of repetition. It is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. Each time you speak your affirmation, you lay another brick in the foundation of your future. And though the world may not see it immediately, your spirit knows. Your mind adjusts, your habits shift, your energy changes. You become the living embodiment of the words you speak. But you must persist. You must resist the voice that says, "This isn't working." That voice is the echo of your old identity, the one that fears growth, that fears power, that fears greatness. Silence it, overwhelm it, drown it in truth. The same phrase, said 1,000 times with purpose, is more powerful than 100 ideas left unspoken. And while others are waiting for motivation, you are training your mind like a soldier, every word a drill, every repetition a weapon. You will face days where the words feel empty. Say them anyway. You will have moments where progress seems invisible. Speak them louder, because you are not just affirming your present, you are commanding your future. And the future obeys the persistent. Let every morning be a ritual of vision. Let every night be a return to truth. Let repetition become your silent partner, your daily contract with destiny. Say the words until they speak back. Say them until the mirror reflects not who you were, but who you were meant to be. And now I challenge you, start today. Begin the discipline of repetition. Choose the words that align with your purpose. Speak them with strength. Repeat them without excuse. Make them the soundtrack of your success. Because in the end, it is not what you say once that changes your life. It is what you say every day, until you believe it, until you live it, until you become it. Faith is the invisible force that builds the visible future. It is the architect of all great success, the unseen power behind every bold decision, every courageous action, and every breakthrough that defies reason and expectation. Without faith, your affirmations are hollow. Without faith, your plans are lifeless. Without faith, you are a traveler with no compass, a builder with no blueprint. But with faith, real unwavering bulldog tenacity faith, there is no mountain too high, no setback too great, no dream too distant. Faith begins where sight ends. It is the decision to believe before the evidence appears. It is the strength to speak prosperity while your pockets are empty, to walk like a victor when the world calls you defeated, to build when others are breaking, and to press on when the path disappears beneath your feet. Faith is not born in comfort. It is born in resistance. It is forged in the heat of doubt, in the cold silence of delay, in the face of every reason to quit. Let me tell you something few will ever understand. The world does not move for those who are lukewarm. The universe does not reward hesitation. Success bends to the will of the man or woman who knows, not wishes, not wonders, not wavers, but knows that what they believe is already on its way. Faith speaks with certainty. Faith walks in alignment. Faith acts without evidence because it knows the evidence will follow. I have watched men rise from poverty with nothing but an idea and a burning belief. No money, no support, no opportunity, only faith. One man I knew was living in a rented room, struggling to feed his children, laughed at by those who once called him friend. But every morning he declared, "My success is coming. I am building an empire. My faith is greater than this circumstance." And though the world saw a failure, he saw his future. Though they mocked, he marched. Though he fell, he rose again. Why? Because faith wouldn't let him stay down. Faith creates momentum. It pushes you when strength runs dry. It holds you steady when the winds howl against your dreams. And like a seed buried in the dark, Faith doesn't panic when it can't see the sun. It grows toward it, slowly, quietly, unstoppably. But hear me now, faith without action is fantasy. Faith is not just a feeling. It is a force. It must be used. It must be acted upon. When you speak your affirmations with faith, you must walk as though they are already true. You must carry yourself like the person you are becoming, not the person you've been. Faith is not passive. It is aggressive. It reaches forward. It demands progress. It does not apologize. It does not retreat. You will be tested. The world will ask you to prove your belief. It will place obstacles in your path, not to destroy you, but to see how deeply your faith runs. Will you keep speaking abundance when debt surrounds you? Will you keep moving forward when the doors stay closed? Will you still believe when nothing changes? Yet, that yet is everything. Faith lives in the yet. It sees what is not yet seen. It hears what is not yet spoken. It stands firm in the gap between desire and manifestation, knowing that the two are already connected by an unbreakable line of belief. So I ask you, what do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your future? What do you believe about your potential? If your faith is weak, your life will wobble. If your faith is strong, your foundation will never crack. Speak faith, walk faith, breathe faith. Let it consume your doubts, conquer your fears, and fuel your destiny. Now is the time to declare, with every ounce of your being, I believe in the life I am creating. I believe in the power within me. I believe in the success that is mine. And once you believe it, act like it, move like it, live like it. Because when faith and action walk hand in hand, success has no choice but to follow. And it will. Persistence is the fire that turns faint intention into unstoppable power. It is the grinding gear that refuses to quit, the quiet force that keeps pushing long after others have surrendered. Success is not reserved for the most gifted, nor the most fortunate. It is claimed by the most persistent. The man who keeps going when others pause. The woman who rises after every fall. The soul that has decided it will not be denied. You must understand, persistence is more than repeated effort. It is the expression of belief in motion. It is faith wrapped in action. It is desire marching with discipline. The world yields not to the person who wishes, but to the one who works. Again and again and again, until the door that would not open begins to creak on its hinges. Every successful man or woman you admire, every titan of industry, every leader of history, every great builder of dreams, they share this trait in common: they did not stop. When the night was long and the way unclear, they moved forward. When the critics shouted and the obstacles multiplied, they moved forward. When fear knocked, when fatigue threatened, when failure laughed, they moved forward. I recall a young man who came to me once, full of hope but battered by rejection. He had a vision, a burning desire to build something great, but the world did not applaud his ambition. They mocked it. They shut doors in his face. They ignored his letters, dismissed his voice, told him it could not be done. He came to me, discouraged but not broken, asking what he lacked. I told him what I'll tell you now. You lack nothing but the willingness to keep going one more day, one more hour, one more step. That is the secret. That is the turning point. That is the moment the universe begins to move. Persistence is a test. It is the gatekeeper of all achievement. Many dream, few persist. Many start, few finish. And it is not because they are incapable, but because they have not yet decided to persist in spite of difficulty, in spite of delay, in spite of disappointment. Your affirmations must be wrapped in persistence. Speak them not once, but 1,000 times. Act on them not for a day, but for a lifetime. Let your goals be written in stone and your efforts in motion. You will face days when nothing changes. Days when your work seems unnoticed, your faith unanswered. These are the testing grounds. This is where persistence is forged. When you labor in silence and believe in the promise you cannot yet see, a seed takes root beneath the soil long before it breaks the surface. You must trust the process. You must work even when no one watches, believe even when nothing shows, persist even when doubt is loud, because success comes not to those who hope once, but to those who continue in hope, who act daily, who endure pain, who outlast the storm. And do not mistake persistence for stubbornness. The persistent mind is not blind, it is strategic. It learns, it adjusts, it refines, but it never surrenders. It bends, but it does not break. It may fall, but it always rises. The man who persists walks with power, not because he never stumbles, but because he always stands again. Let no obstacle intimidate you. Let no delay defeat you. Let no failure become your identity. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the world's opinion. You are your persistence. And the longer you persist, the closer you draw to the reward. Now hear this. The world is waiting to reward your persistence. Doors are waiting to open, opportunities to be unlocked, lives to be changed, but only if you will keep going. Keep speaking, keep moving, keep believing. The path will not always be smooth, but the destination is always worth it. And so I leave you with this command: persist. When it's hard, when it's silent, when no one sees, when everything in you wants to stop, persist. Let your persistence be the declaration that you were born for more, that you will not settle, that you will rise. Because the man who persists wins. No man climbs the mountain of success alone. No woman reaches the summit of her dreams without help. There is a principle that governs the rise of all great achievers. A principle as old as time, yet often ignored by those who stumble. The mastermind. The alliance of minds, united in purpose, synchronized in spirit, and committed to one another's elevation, is the most powerful force available to any individual seeking greatness. Where one mind may falter, two can stand. Where one idea may flicker, many can burn with clarity. And where one soul may tire, a team can reignite the fire. The truth is simple. When minds harmonize in the pursuit of a definite purpose, a new power is born, greater than the sum of its parts. I have seen men who were poor in knowledge, but rich in association, accomplish more than the most brilliant scholars working alone. I have watched individuals who lack capital, influence, and position rise to immense success, not because of what they had, but because of who they were aligned with. The mastermind principle does not discriminate. It elevates all who understand and apply it. But hear me clearly, not all company is good company. You must choose your mastermind carefully. You must align yourself with those who think in the language of faith, speak in the tongue of purpose, and act with the fire of persistence. Surround yourself with small minds, and your dreams will shrink. Surround yourself with dreamers, with builders, with believers, and your own vision will expand beyond imagination. Your associations are not just social, they are structural. They form the scaffolding upon which your success is built. Imagine a man in a storm, holding a single candle. The wind howls, the rain falls, and his light flickers. Alone, the flame dies. But if he is surrounded by others, each holding their own flame, then together they create a blaze no storm can extinguish. That is the mastermind. It is protection. It is expansion. It is ignition. And it is absolutely essential. You were not created to do everything alone. Your strength is multiplied when you link arms with others. In the presence of a mastermind, ideas spark, clarity forms, solutions appear, energy increases, doubts diminish, and where one might grow weary, the group restores the will to press forward. I have watched business empires rise from the table of 5 determined men, unified in purpose. I have seen communities transformed by the resolve of a few individuals, each encouraging the others, challenging the others, believing in the others. One of the greatest tragedies of our age is the myth of self-made success. There is no such thing. Every true accomplishment is the fruit of collaboration, mentorship, counsel, and shared strength. And do not forget this truth: a mastermind does not only exist in the physical, it lives in the mental, in the spiritual. You can form an alliance with the great minds of the past by reading their words, absorbing their philosophies, learning from their failures and triumphs. You can surround yourself with greatness by what you allow into your mind. The voices you choose to listen to shape the voice you speak with. But the mastermind demands something from you. It is not merely about taking, it is about giving. Bring your best to the group. Offer your energy, your ideas, your accountability. Lift as you climb. Give wisdom as you receive it. Sharpen others as you are sharpened. A true mastermind is a fellowship of power, forged by mutual commitment, trust, and shared vision. And if you say, "But I have no such people," then begin building them. Speak your dream aloud. Find those who resonate with your rhythm. Start with 1, then 2, then more, but begin. Because the moment you align your purpose with others walking the same path, your pace increases. Your vision clears. Your impact multiplies. So I ask you now, who is in your circle? Who sharpens your thinking, stirs your spirit, and strengthens your steps? Who reminds you of your power when you forget? If the answer is no one, then today is the day that must change. Do not walk alone when you were born to build with others. Do not struggle in silence when a team could carry you further. Do not fight battles alone that were meant to be won together. Find your mastermind. Create your alliance. Form your council of progress. Because when the right minds unite, nothing is impossible. Now go. Speak your vision. Extend your hand. Build your circle. And never again walk the path to greatness without the strength of others beside you. Together, there is no limit to how high you will rise. You now hold the blueprint. The path to success is no longer hidden. You have been shown the principles, the affirmations that attract, the thoughts that command results, the actions that shape destiny. The only question that remains is this: what will you do with what you now know? You must decide. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when the world aligns, but now. Success does not wait for the hesitant. It bends to the bold. It crowns the courageous. It responds only to those who dare to believe in the unseen, act on the unknown, and persist beyond the unbearable. Burn into your mind the truths you've been given. What you think, you become. What you believe, you achieve. What you declare, you attract. Let your affirmations rise not only from your lips, but from your life. Walk them, speak them, live them, and watch as the world begins to mirror your inner certainty. Do not let the voice of fear drown out the whisper of destiny. Do not trade your potential for temporary comfort. Do not hand over your power to doubt, to delay, or to defeat. You were born with greatness within you, and the time has come to unleash it. Let your desire burn brighter than your excuses. Let your persistence shout louder than your obstacles. Let your vision guide you when the path is unclear. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are not hoping for a breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. Act with faith. Speak with authority. Surround yourself with power, and walk every step forward with the unshakable knowing that success is already yours, waiting only for you to claim it. The world will not remember what you intended to do. It will remember what you did. So rise, move, decide. Speak your affirmations with conviction. Live them with intensity. And never forget that every great legacy began with a single, decisive moment of action. This is your moment. Good luck on your journey to the extraordinary, and thank you for daring to believe in what's possible